If you use the free tier of ChatGPT, your next prompt will come with a sponsor. OpenAI has officially started running mandatory advertisements directly inside the world's most popular AI assistant. You do have the option to opt out of seeing these ads, but it comes at a strict cost. Users who refuse ads are actively penalized with a reduced daily message allowance, tying your access to your willingness to view sponsored content. This chart shows the financial scale driving the decision. Truist estimates that OpenAI will generate under $1 billion in ad revenue this year. By 2030, that number is projected to soar to over $30 billion. Integrating ads into the interface millions rely on moves ChatGPT into the category of search engines. OpenAI has commercialized the leading assistant, turning real-time intelligence into a corporatized utility for mass advertising. We can see the physical impact of this corporatization in the consumer hardware market. Standard motherboard sales collapsed by 25% as giants prioritize producing data center chips. The same squeeze hits memory. With AI consuming immense production capacity, DRAM prices surged 110% in a single quarter. The enterprise demand driving this hardware shortage is staggering. Anthropic, led by CEO Dario Amodei, recently reported an 80x revenue growth, crossing an annualized run rate of $44 billion. Tech companies promised the artificial intelligence revolution would put supercomputing power directly in your hands. Instead, the massive industrialization of AI is actively pricing everyday consumers out of the hardware required to run it. On an infrastructural level, corporate resources pouring into these models are yielding massive results. This diagram represents optimal power flow on electrical grids. Google's AlphaEvolve agent recently pushed the feasibility of neural networks managing these grids from just 14% to over 88%. The same optimization applies to code. Mozilla gave Claude Mythos access to the Firefox browser codebase. In a single month, the AI fixed 423 security bugs, locating critical vulnerabilities that human engineers had missed for 20 years. But that exact capability is now being weaponized. Security researchers just discovered a piece of Severity 10 malware sitting on the developer platform HuggingFace, perfectly disguised as an open-source AI privacy filter. The 1.1 megabyte executable was highly sophisticated. It had sandbox evasion built directly in. The moment a developer executed the fake model, it began harvesting passwords from their web browsers. The security landscape is splitting. AI accelerates defensive patching while lowering the bar for attackers, harvesting credentials on a global scale. This graphic compares the privacy settings between Google Chrome versions 147 and 148. Between these two updates, Google quietly deleted the single sentence guaranteeing that their on-device AI models run without sending your personal data to Google servers. This specific privacy promise vanished right as researchers caught Chrome silently downloading a 4 GB Gemini model onto users' personal devices without asking for explicit consent. Meanwhile, the broader web is degrading under the weight of AI production. Industry tracking shows that in 2025, fully AI-generated content accounted for more than half of all new books released worldwide. The race for market dominance has established a clear incentive structure. Major platforms quietly discard user privacy to feed their massive data centers, while the tools they build flood the digital commons with synthesized noise. This automation is also forcing a harsh physical reorganization inside the companies building it. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong recently eliminated 14% of the company's global workforce, specifically to flatten management layers and replace them with AI agents. In his announcement, Armstrong warned that every major company in the global market will eventually undergo this exact type of AI-native restructuring. This diagram shows the architectural shift making this possible. To make agents reliable enough to replace human workers, engineers are abandoning chaotic text prompts. Instead, they are wrapping language models inside strict deterministic code with programmatic verification checkpoints. Autonomous agents have crossed the threshold from technical experiments to economic instruments. Large-scale deployment is now actively removing human management layers from the global workforce. There is a technical resistance forming. Community-driven open models, like Alibaba's Qwen, are maturing incredibly fast, rapidly narrowing the performance gap against the closed corporate models. Thanks to optimization algorithms like speculative decoding, everyday users can now run these frontier-class intelligence models locally, efficiently, and entirely privately on a single consumer graphics card. But the regulatory response is accelerating. The White House is actively moving toward an FDA-style regulatory framework for frontier models, establishing a system of prior restraint over what can be built and distributed. Statements from the National Economic Council pushing for strict pharmaceutical-grade oversight align perfectly with the administration's recent move to block the expansion of powerful models like Claude Mythos. We are watching a collision in real time. Just as the public finally gains the power to run frontier intelligence locally on their own machines, state and corporate monopolies are moving aggressively to lock down the